This year, Kandy, Sri Lanka will host the third Nyéléni Global Forum. Small-scale food producers, indigenous peoples, feminists, health workers, climate justice activists, social and solidarity economic defenders, and other grassroots activists will come from more than 80 countries to radically change the system. In the face of a violent global system, we are rising up, resisting, and building power from the bottom up. This forum is a spark in our collective struggle. Walk with us towards Kandy. Visit nyeleniglobalforum.org.
Thank you, Mariann Bassey, for being with us. I have Mariann Bassey here from the General Steering Committee of Nyéléni, representing the African region. Welcome, Mariam.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's a pleasure. Could you please tell us a little bit about maybe the role that you're playing in this upcoming Nyéléni Forum, in the sense that you're representing or you're working with the Respect and Diversity group? What is that link with food sovereignty? Because I think few of us generally link food sovereignty and the right to food, the right to control our own food chains, with respect and diversity. How does that link to that struggle?
Well, you see, I'm from the Respect and Diversity Working Group, and mainly that working group is like a task force to ensure that everybody who comes to the Nyéléni Forum is respected, is a safe space for everybody's voice to be heard and also be heard, and that there's inclusion, and that we take the struggles that we are facing from our local communities, our constituencies, our continents, and we'll come here and we express them with other people in a safe, respectable manner where people are heard. With food is not just about eating. Food also has to do with respect, and respect starts with us. So in that group, we feel we are going to have diverse people coming from all walks of life. So there needs to be some rules, there needs to be some protocols to ensure that anybody coming to Nyéléni Forum understands that everybody here is somebody, nobody is excluded, there are different diversities, there are different identities, and that we should be treated with respect. Everybody has a right to be heard, and that we are coming here to actualize one goal, a transformative society and transformative food. And in doing that, it starts with ourselves to respect our boundaries, our limits, and have a discussion in a transparent and respectable manner. So that's what we want to ensure, that nobody leaves here feeling that she was not heard, or he was not heard, or they were not heard, and that people carry on these conversations, even outside the conversations, in a respectable, safe, orderly manner.
So I mean, what you're saying, it really translates into this much more complex vision, like you say, of food sovereignty that goes beyond food. No, it's about a model of society that we want to build there, right?
Yes, it's a model of society where nobody is excluded. Historically, some of people have been excluded, and these people have helped to shape the narrative that we have able to shape some of the victories and policy wins that we've had, and helped us to build very strong movements, and also helped to amplify our voices at the local to the national levels, and also strengthen our movement. So we feel this space, we don't want to exclude anybody, even those who have been historically excluded. We feel all the voices matter. Everybody has a say. Everybody has something to contribute. Everybody from our lived realities and experiences. We feel joining these different experiences where we live, and our identities and the things that we've done, we will be able to achieve our goals of a transformative society and a just system, where people eat the food they want in the way they want it, in the quantity, and which is culturally acceptable to them, and nobody is forced to just eat anything because you are hungry. And that above all, those who produce this food, the farmers, the peasants, are respected and accorded the accolades they deserve. Like we discussed today, we said that these are the hands that have fed us. Without them, there will be no food, and that they should be respected. Mm-hmm. So most times people look at the farmers as if they don't matter. I mean, they look at them out, they're really in the rural areas. These are people who only produce food, but they go beyond that. Think about if we don't eat. Mm-hmm. We will drop dead. So we feel as we come to this space, we should have in mind that everybody has contributed and nobody should be excluded, that all of us matter.
And in this picture that you're painting for us, I mean, does corporate power play any role in that, in kind of perpetuating exclusion of different categories of society? How does, or maybe if it's not corporate power, what are the main obstacles that the food sovereignty movement faces in transforming society into being a more inclusive inclusive model?
I think, the corporate society does play a role, and also people's mindset too does play a role, and historically what people's beliefs does play a role. The corporations, as it is, I mean, they are after profits. They are businessmen. So by dividing people, they can achieve their goal. They don't want a united front. They don't want people unified. So they come in with different narratives to ensure that people are divided. And when people are divided, they start fighting for their rights. They're coming together to fight for a common goal. So they leave the main fight to fight for things that to actualize themselves and say, you cannot exclude us, you can't do that. And then leaving the main goal. And also our governments, some of our governments and the laws of our land, and also because sometimes our leaders are mainly after money. They're not after the people. It's just mostly for them, it's about profit, smiling to the bank, and what is the narrative that is already written out for them. They don't consider how the larger society feel, how the people feel. So it's I think it's a deliberate plot. It's direct systematic breakdown of our food and people to ensure that people stay divided. People stay, so we don't even have this conversation. You can imagine the past 5-7 days, how powerful and empowering and inspiring having different people from diverse backgrounds, different continents, different identities coming together for us to forge a path that would usher in the kind of food that we want to eat, the food sovereignty, which has agroecology at the forefront. The corporations do not want this kind of order. They want a broken system where they will continue to feed us with chemicals, they will continue to feed us with pesticides, they will continue to smile to the bank, they will continue to call the shots, they continue to do things that are, they continue to abuse our food, and then come in with this tainted diets, because if you come and start modifying my food and polluting it, it's no longer my food that I know, it is something else. They need to do that to keep being in business. These are businessmen, these are businesswomen, these are business people trying to sell a paradigm, and for them to do that, they would ensure that nobody stands in their way, and they will stop at nothing to ensure that they carry on business. For them, it's business as usual. It's nothing about our food. It's nothing about food sovereignty. It has nothing to do with feeding the people. It has to do with growing their empire that is built on deceit and falsehood.
Democracy is not a gift from above. It's built by the people. We say no to fascism, no to colonialism, no to genocide. We fight for peace, solidarity, and rights for all. On the road to Nyéléni, we resist and organize.
If from Africa, can you name any examples maybe that we can lean on for inspiration of current struggles that have given fruit? I know it's a long-term battle, but can you share some stories of some of the work that you've done at the region or internationally?
Yeah, there've been a lot of victories from different African countries, like the Alliance of Food Sovereignty Africa. Start from there before coming to Nigeria. Over the years, we've produced more than 200 case studies to show that agroecology is the way to go. It feeds our people, and it also cools the planet. It's a bold future of farming. We've established that people have come in to give evidence. They've come to say, this is what I have done. We've seen communities that were dead. Farmlands that were dead, and through agroecological practices, they were able in the Tigray region of Ethiopia. We actually have a case study there where the farmland, the land was regenerated, and it's growing very well. In Nigeria, we've had running battles with the corporations where they've tried to put in the paradigm of genetically modified foods as the silver bullet. And recently, last December, we've been on this battle for a very long time. The National Assembly, our Parliament, they wanted to hear from us, which has never happened before, and they invited us to come there. And usually when we go with ourselves. I have a legal background, and they will always say, "Oh, you're a lawyer. What do you know? You're not a researcher. How do you know?" But this time around, we have people who, the professors. We have the doctors, academic doctors. We have medical doctors. We had different people who joined with us to go to National Assembly, even though we had 5 minutes each to speak. So we distributed the points within the scientists spoke from their scientific experience. I said this, and I spoke from my legal experience and what I had known. So we're able to dominate the narrative, and the people actually said that, oh, these people are speaking the truth, something that's never happened before. And people are beginning to question what is on my plate. What are you giving us? What is going on? And they've been different. In Kenya, they were able to win the case. The courts established that yes, they have the court. They should not bring in GMOs into the country. They won that, but it was a fierce battle. It went from the lower court to the Court of Appeal, and there was a declaration in favor of the people, which shows that fine. Sometimes we battle and feel nothing comes out of it, but eventually truth prevails. Victory. People had victory, and we're very happy because we felt that the victory for one is a victory for all, because they tried to perpetrate this false narrative in one country, and once they get one country and have a success story, that is what they churn out for other people to follow. And then, so when our comrades win these battles, we are happy. We are empowered to say, oh, good, this is going, and we can also win. And currently we're having this collaboration with comrades in different countries. We are coming together to see what we can do, because it's the same battles. We are dealing with the same demons. Forgive me for my language. We are the same people, the same demons who are trying to terrorize our people and distort our food systems. And also what is really happening now, we are trying to get it back. Because of children, they're trying to distort their taste buds. Children no longer want to eat local food. They want to eat Indomie. They want to eat McDonald's. They want to eat food from different food chains. I don't want to advertise any food chain here. And the traditional food, which is very nourishing, they don't want to, because this is what they see. They have the money. They do big advertisements. They go to schools. They get these food programs, and gradually, they're trying to erode our traditional practices. So we're saying, no, My Food is African campaign. We've rolled it and it's very successful. Most countries are not doing it. My Food is Nigeria, My Food is African, My Food is Kenya. A lot of our comrades are buying into this campaign, and we're telling our children to please eat our food. And they were bringing in local chefs. It's like bringing back our traditional, which is much nutritious. And you know that our food is medicine. That is why when we had COVID, even though Bill and Melinda Gates predicted that a lot of people would die like flies in Africa, we didn't die because we didn't have, most of the vaccines came to us late. We couldn't travel, so our food became medicine, and the medicine became the food because we ate healthily, and there was no food, but we grew from around us, because traditionally African food is very healthy. It's not distorted. It has everything you need. If you go somewhere, they give you medication. I was sick recently, some years back, and I was in Cuba. They gave me food it's all tablets. They gave me my part of my medication was eating right, because they said the food is the medicine. You need to eat right. It starts from the inside. Once your food is contaminated, is polluted, that is an impending death. You're dying, you might be working, but you're dying gradually because it's like poison to your system. That is why if you're taking, as a person, if you're taking something that your body does not agree with, your body, you react, you become sick. So that is why for us, food is not just food, it's the whole of our existence. If you go anywhere in the world and somebody brings you food, like if I give you tacos, you know definitely that's coming from Latin America, from either Mexico, because the food is an identity. You go to Uganda, if you bring me matoke is bananas, that's their staple food. Come to Nigeria, I give you dikai kong, I give you starch, I give you banga. You know, even in Nigeria, where that particular food is coming from. Food is involved in all our cultures, in all our events, from birth, marriages to death, there must be food. So for us, it's not just something we eat, and that is unifying force. In our family, I think we try to have like one meal. That is where you get to hear, how was your day? What's going on with you? People share, people discuss, people eat, and it's sharing. It's a very important bond.
So it builds community in a way.
Yes, it builds communities. You find even in the people cook together. When there's a celebration, they come together. Oh, I'll bring rice. Oh, I'll bring leaves. I'll bring pepper. People contribute. They cook as they are cooking. They are sharing stories. Things have happened before. They are cooking. They are sharing stories. They are eating. They are sharing stories. They sit. It's something very beautiful that it's. And we don't want that tradition to ever go away, because that is how you pass on generational knowledge. That is how you communicate to the next generation, because it's not like a formal school where you teach. It's through these conversations. You do it because it's relaxed. You're cooking, you're laughing and speaking. You always remember those stories. You always remember those stories from your auntie, from your grandma, from your elder sister, from the women. They tell stories. Sometimes, oh, you see this leaf. There's one time we're cooking and pepper entered into my eye. He said, put salt in your mouth. And immediately I did that. You can't. I wouldn't have known. Or you're cooking, you say, I mistakenly put a lot of salt in the soup. Drop potatoes into the soup, it will suck out the salt. So these are things you don't learn from, you learn by hearing them and seeing them by experience. So there's a whole lot of things in food sovereignty, and for us, that's why we need to protect it, we need to guard it. We don't want the corporations bringing their paradigm. Everything they do, if you go behind it, it's all about money.
Right.
It's all about control. It's all about, because it will controls your food, controls your society. And it dictates to you. I mean, you can decide not to travel, but when you have to eat at a point, even if you are fasting, you want to eat. And if somebody can determine what you eat, that's an impending death.
Land, water, seeds, health. They are not for profit, they are life. No more theft, no more destruction. With feminism, indigenous knowledge, and rights for all, we rise to defend the commons. In Nyéléni, the future is rooted in the people.
And so, in a way, the industrial food system also breaks intergenerational knowledge in a way, right?
Yes.
Because from what you explained, this knowledge has been handed down from one generation to another in the kitchen, from sharing meals that are outside of the corporate food system, right? Now, with the Nyéléni Forum coming up in a few months, what would you expect to come out from the forum, or what would you wish to come out that you would see these struggles that you've been embedded in for the last years that would help it?
I mean, the way the Nyéléni is planned, it's like a community itself. You see different people, even where it's going to be held. It's held at a village, at a center that is built by the people. It's not just a random place. It was chosen carefully and built with love to help the people. So you see people coming in from all walks of life, north, south, east, with a single purpose, sharing stories, because it's going to be stories, and trying also to forge a path where fertilization of ideas, people speak and you contribute. Like I said, everybody matters. Every voice is heard, that people are able to contribute to a single objective. We want a truly transformative system, not the one that is given to us, that is not given to us, take that back, that is forced on us by the corporate and multinationals. So Nyéléni is all about a just food system, a transformative, built on respect and respecting the modes of production, that everybody has a right to eat what they are used to, that is culturally appropriate, that is sustainable, and also that they want to eat. And it's also nourishing, because most times the food that the corporations want to go through is more like food security. You're hungry, just eat anything. You're hungry, maybe just eat a cake. Mm-hmm. No, Nyéléni is saying no. We're talking about real nourishing food, and with this food comes stories of success, stories of unity, stories of people have gone to war because of, most times you see farming communities, because of food. You're trying to food too, because they're farming, you bond their farm on something. So Nyéléni is a unifying force. You're talking about food sovereignty, which is connecting to most things, connected to the climate, it's connected to the energy, it's everything. Food is at the center of everything. So for us at Nyéléni, we're trying to connect the dots and ensure that every system of production, everything connected to our food, the climate, the energy, just everything, that it's sustainable, that we don't just come in and consume everything. We have a next generation to think about. People who are coming before us, we're handed a legacy of goodwill. It should not end with us. We should leave a livable world for the next generation. That is what Nyéléni is all about. And that our leaders should also listen to us. It shouldn't always be profits over people. It's not be corporations who are seizing the spaces where people like us should be. And our government, because of money, our leaders are listening to them. Nyéléni is all about unifying voices. Nyéléni is all about inclusion. Nyéléni is all about valuing our systems, and also it's about human rights and non-discrimination, about bringing in people who matter. It's about celebrating victories and also strategies, and that at the end of it all, we leave a livable world for the next generation.
Wow, very powerful words, Mariann Bassey. Thank you very much for sharing that and for being here. I know you've had a very busy weeks here in Negombo, Sri Lanka.
Yeah, thank you so much, Andres.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's nice speaking to you. Thank you.
This was one more voice in the growing tide ahead of the third Nyéléni Global Forum. We communicate to resist, we dream to transform. We will continue to meet in the territories, in the struggles, and at nyéleniglobalforum.org.